Is remote work dream job, or is it actually destroying our mental health? New research just dropped some shocking statistics. 40% of remote workers report depression symptoms compared to 35% of office workers. But wait, those same remote workers are 13% more productive. How is this possible? Today, we are diving into the largest studies ever conducted on remote work, including data from 3 million employees, to give you the truth nobody's talking about. First, let's start with the good news because there's actually a lot of it. The Bureau of Labor Statistics just released their 2025 data showing that remote work genuinely increases productivity. Stanford researchers studied 16,000 workers for 9 months and found a 13% productivity boost from working at home. That's not a small number. Remote workers took fewer breaks, had fewer sick days, and worked more minutes per shift. But here's where it gets really interesting. They found remote workers waste 10 minutes less per day being unproductive and actually work 1 more day per week on average. Great Place to Work analyzed over 800,000 employees and confirmed that productivity stayed stable or even increased after shifting to remote work. So if we're more productive at home, what's the problem? Well, this is where the story takes a dark turn. A University of Maryland study found that 40% of remote workers and 38% of hybrid workers reported depressive symptoms. That's significantly higher than the 35% for office workers. Even more alarming, research shows that nearly 3/4 of employees developed new mental health issues after starting remote work. A shocking 56% of remote workers go entire weeks without leaving their homes, and 1 in 4 don't speak to anyone for days. Think about that for a second. Days without human interaction. The Integrated Benefits Institute found that fully remote work is associated with increased anxiety, depression, loneliness, and sleep difficulties. But here's the paradox. 98% of remote workers still say they want to work remotely for the rest of their careers. So what's really going on here? The truth is, it's complicated. Remote work affects different people in completely different ways. For some, it's a dream come true. No commute means more time with family, more sleep, better work-life balance. Studies show that eliminating commutes can save the average American 51 minutes per day. That's over 200 hours per year. Commutes longer than 45 minutes are linked to higher stress, elevated blood pressure, and increased risk of obesity and diabetes. Remote workers who avoid these commutes see real health benefits. Plus, there's the environmental impact. Full-time remote workers cut their carbon emissions by 54%. But for others, especially those living alone or in small spaces, remote work can be isolating and depressing. The loss of workplace friendships, casual conversations, and that clear boundary between work and home can be devastating. Women and younger workers seem to be hit the hardest, with women struggling more with work-life balance when kids are at home, and young adults experiencing intense loneliness. Stanford's latest research reveals another crucial finding. Hybrid work might be the sweet spot. Their study of workers at Trip.com found that hybrid workers, those working from home 2 days a week, were just as productive and likely to be promoted as full-time office workers, but with higher job satisfaction and 1/3 lower quit rates. The key factors that determine whether remote work helps or hurts you include your living situation, personality type, home workspace quality, and job type. If you have a dedicated office space, live with others, and have clear boundaries between work and personal time, you're more likely to thrive. But if you're working from your bedroom, live alone, and struggle with self-discipline, remote work might be harmful to your mental health. So what's the solution? First, if you're remote, you need to be intentional about social connection. Schedule regular video calls with colleagues, join a co-working space, or work from coffee shops. Set strict boundaries. When work ends, close your laptop and leave your workspace. Exercise is crucial. Studies show remote workers who maintain regular exercise routines report better mental health. Second, companies need to step up. The research is clear that organizational support makes a huge difference. Regular check-ins, mental health resources, and flexibility in work arrangements can prevent the negative effects of remote work. Third, consider hybrid work if possible. The data strongly suggests that 2 to 3 days in the office provides the best of both worlds. Productivity gains, social connection, and work-life balance. The bottom line? Remote work isn't inherently good or bad. It's a tool that can either enhance or damage your life depending on how it's implemented. The future of work isn't about choosing sides in the remote versus office debate. It's about finding what works for each individual and creating systems that support both productivity and well-being. Because at the end of the day, being 13% more productive doesn't mean much if you're also 40% likely to be depressed. What's your experience with remote work? Let us know in the comments below.